2024 is on its way, but we have to look back at the great things that were accomplished on the track and on the cross country course in 2023. And that's what we're going to do on this episode of Track Talk. Y'all, it has been an incredible year. And first and foremost, thank you everybody for your continued support for this channel. And listen, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. The holiday season is my favorite time of the year. And so it's always fun to reminisce and look back on just the wonderful things that we have gotten a chance to see on the track, on the cross country course, so on and so forth. And we're going to do a little mini series here on Lactic Acid or Track Talk, and really both. And it's going to look back at some awesome performances. And today we're going to focus on the college stars, and we're going to focus on some of the superstar teams that really set the track, set the running scene ablaze. And so for me, I have a few names and a couple teams. I had to limit it down because there were so many incredible performances from all these amazing athletes and coaches. And so I'm going to give you two teams. I'm going to give you two athletes. I want to know who I missed out on, which, listen, I understand all criticism is fair. And I want to know who do you think, or who stood out to you, and what team stood out to you as well. And so we're going to focus on college today. So without further ado, let's go to the first team. They dominated. I said that 3 times because it was a three-peat, and I'm talking about the NC State women's cross country team. What a performance. This last one was absolutely insane. Winning by 1 point, y'all. 1 point. That was absolutely bonkers, especially when you look at the things that were pretty much against them. Caitlin Tui didn't have her best day, but listen, she showed toughness. She showed the heart of a champion. She wasn't feeling well, but guess what? She got back up, was in 15th or somewhere in that mix, came back up to secure a top 5 finish, got those points for NC State, who was missing one of their leaders, one of their best runners. And so Lori Hennis is just an incredible coach. I think she is one of the GOATs. At least she's putting herself in that category, that upper echelon of coaches, because she did a masterful job, and she does a masterful job year in and year out building that program. They have so much talent, they have so much heart, they compete so hard, and just it manifests itself in performances on the big stage. And so I had to give love to them. 3 in a row, 3-peat, y'all. That is legit. That is something different. I don't care what sport you participate in, that is something different, and hats off to them. So that is the team that stood out to me, at least one of the teams that stood out to me. The Florida Gators men's track and field team, who won the national championship, the outdoor national championship. Listen, there's so many things we could talk about, but if you remember correctly, there were some things going against them. I certainly didn't have them. I believe it was on episode. If not, it was in a different conversation. Do not be surprised if Coach Holloway has them ready to perform at a big stage. I don't care what's against them. I don't care who they don't have and who they're facing, and they find ways to win. They had a couple breaks go their way. They had some things bounce in their favor, and they got some elite performances when it mattered the most. Capped off by an amazing 4x4, and they were able to take it home once again. Holloway is a different breed, man, and just what he's able to do. He really regathered them after the indoor season, and then they really put their foot to the gas, and they really went off. And so it was really cool to see how they were able to come together, win that title, and how they were able to get it done yet again. So listen, shout out to the Gators, man. Speaking of Gators, Parker Valby. Parker Valby. Parker has been dealing with injuries, and you didn't know what you were going to get because the significance of the injury. She has a unique training schedule as far as when she trains and how she trains, and just the cross training that she does. But it works. How do I know it works? just won the cross country national championship. Prior to that, won the 5K national title in the outdoor season. And listen, I love Parker. I love her energy. I love the passion. I love her enthusiasm. And I love the swag that she has. I really do. I really respect it. OG Tampa legend from Eastlake High School. A really, really good high school when it comes to track and field. Produced some incredible talent over the years. Parker, you got Sophie Haig down there in Miami, who's a freshman. There's so many wonderful kids, and as far as great talent that has come through that school, and Parker is just killing it. And I just love how she competes. It's always a joy to watch her run, and just the different ways she finds to win, to go about it. And so I had to give her a shout out. Parker had an incredible season, and what's stopping her from winning again? I don't know, but let me tell you something. Parker Valby, she's a real one. She's a difference maker. She's a baller. She's a shot caller. And she was one of the athletes that stood out to me this season. Last but certainly not least, staying in the SEC. Jaden Hibbert. Let me tell you something. If he did not get hurt, I honestly believe that Jaden Hibbert would have won the gold medal at the World Championships in Budapest this past summer in the men's triple jump. He was leading the charge and then unfortunately suffered an injury and had to end his essential season. Basically, he couldn't compete anymore due to the injury. He dominated. He has the U20 world record in the triple jump. He has all sorts of just collegiate records and everything. There's certain people, I've said this before, who are talented, and then there are people who are gifted. That brother is gifted. That dude is different. He is a baller. It just doesn't, I kind of run out of things to say because it looks like it comes so naturally to him that I don't want to say it's effortless, but you can see, what was he doing it off, 12 steps or something crazy like that? It's not even a full approach. He's only going to get better. He was only a freshman, y'all. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. A freshman balling out on the big stage, balling out on the big scene, and just continuing to dominate. And I do think that we are headed into a stretch where the Jamaicans have some incredible talent in the field. You talk about Pinnock, you talk about Casey McLeod, you talk about just so many different athletes, so many wonderful athletes in the field events. And I think it is going to be fun because the Americans have some talent too, and that's developing in different areas of the world. But those Jamaicans, listen, they are really, 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 especially on the men's side when it comes to the field events, there's some talent there. Jaden Hibbert, I feel like we're entering where it's a new era, essentially, because I don't know who's going to beat him once he puts 2 and 2 together. He's going to have another year. He's going to have another year with great coaching, and then he's going to take that, and then he's going to go to the national scene and dominate. It's just a matter of how long he decides to stay in college. That's just about it. That's, in my opinion, that's it. Jaden Hibbert, it was such a joy to watch him this season. I cannot wait to watch him next season. Listen, appreciate everybody. We're going to do another part 2. This time it's going to be the pros, and we're just going to wrap things up from there. I appreciate everybody listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube page, like, subscribe, comment if you like what you are listening to, share it with your friends, share it with your mom, your dad, your dogs, your brother, whoever you know would enjoy some great content, share it with them. Subscribe to the Lactic Acid podcast page on Apple, on Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. Please go ahead and do that. If you like what you're listening to, leave a nice review. It helps boost the algorithm. It helps this channel grow. Share it with anybody else that you know, that you'll get some laughs and you'll be informed by some amazing people. Until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease, and we will see you then.